Gather round, children. The story I'm about to tell you is not for the faint of heart. This story involves a spooky Cardinals game with all the tenets to make it the spookiest game in recent memory. An overtime finish, a missed field goal, and an Isaiah Simmons interception. Truly, this is the Halloween special of the Redbird Redzone podcast. And we are live. Welcome to the Halloween special of the Redbird Redzone podcast. My name is Will. You can find me on Twitter at LiveOnThatSwing. I've got a singular scrumdiddlyumptious guest with me today. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. And my name is Mac, and we're here, and you can find me at AZ Sports Feeding on Twitter. And we're here to go over the fucking thrilling overtime victory the Cardinals had over the Seahawks this week. Let's get right to it.
And I'm going to say right off the bat, if this isn't a contender for Game of the Year, I don't know what is. Because this has been the craziest game I've seen all season, without a doubt. It
had a little bit of everything.
It had a little bit of everything. It had, monster defense in the second half. It had a thrilling quarterback bout. I mean, this is probably the best game.
Field goal misses, yeah.
Oh my god!
A little bit. I mean, at one point, didn't we all just hope that it was going to be a tie game?
Oh my god, dude! I thought that's where it was going to go. That's where it was going to go.
Under 2 minutes to go in overtime? Yeah.
I mean, it just felt so right, given everything that's happened. Happened before, man. I mean, the last time we faced anybody on Sunday Night Football was a 6-6 tie against the Seahawks.
Right, the total opposite of this game, yeah.
And it took them 3 years for them to decide, maybe we should put them back in prime time again. But we made the most of it, and we're going to discuss that on this podcast.
Well, how'd your week go? How was your victory week taking you? Now we're on the bye week and everything. You relaxing? What?
Oh, dude, it feels so good.
It does.
I think because this is a victory where everybody has to admit now that we're legit, that we are a contender. Because every other victory we've had prior has been, bottom tier.
Yeah, injured fucking Dak Prescott. Right.
This was our moment. This was our coronation into the realm of the contenders, I'd say.
Back-to-back primetime games. That's the way you do it right there. Kyler Murray putting his name out there for possibly league MVP. He now has the most total yardage out of anybody in the league right now, and he outplayed Russell Wilson.
Absolutely. And I think, arguably the contender for, defensive player of the game has to be Budda Baker, right?
And defensive player of the year, yeah. He's on one right now, man. I don't know where this defense would be without him. He's definitely the heart and soul of that side of the ball.
He has had 2 near pick sixes in a row in 2 separate games, which makes me think that his third pick, I'm going to call this now, and if I'm wrong, I'm stupid, and if I'm right, I'm a genius. His third pick is going to come in that Miami game, and then he's going to take it to the house.
Hey, three games in a row with the INT. I'm all for that.
I mean, that's how rule of threes work, man. If you got, if it doesn't happen the first 2 times, it has to happen the third.
You won't have any arguments here. I don't know what Wilson was doing. I guess that was a play that they always practice, and they never expected somebody to be there. And Budda was kind of freelancing in the end zone, and he saw how the running back dropped out, and Russell Wilson just kind of flipped it up. You know what I mean? Just kind of threw way too much air in it, and that Buddha read that from the start. That was a hell of a jump.
And
on
let
that.
me say, an insane chase down block by DK Metcalf. Absolutely.
That was his play of the game.
That was his play of the game, and going into this game, it looked like DK Metcalf was on the course to set a record because he might have been on track to record 5 games in a row with 90-plus yards, which has only happened to a handful of players in NFL history. A handful. I think.
And the Cardinals have that secret medicine. They have Patrick Peterson because this is the third game that he's played. Or actually, this is the third game in his career, and he has 3 catches versus us for 29 yards, and he hasn't scored a touchdown yet. Whatever we're doing, and you got to give the whole props to Patrick Peterson because I believe he was on him for 40 of the 50 snaps or something like that. So whatever medicine that he's giving him, I'm all here for it. That's beautiful.
And no other person is going to give Patrick Peterson player of the week in light of every other person who balled out against the Seahawks. But I'd say that he's arguably contender because he shut down one of the most explosive wide receivers in the league.
Yeah, the one person who's not getting player of the week would be Drake Kirkpatrick, who gave up 10 catches on 12 targets.
I don't know if that's fair though, because he got injured mid-game, and they kept him in.
I don't know exactly. I know his foot's all banged up, but and it's not like he was giving up like a lot of yards after the catch or whatnot. But I mean, he definitely was a step slow at seemingly every pass play to give up that many catches. But it looks like we might have some help on the way. The Cardinals signed that Vontae Bosby from the Broncos, released him. And he's been pretty solid. In 2 games this year, he already has 3 pass breakups. Nobody on the Cardinals secondary has more than 4 on the season. And then this year and last year combined, he's played 9 games, and he's given up 13 completions on 24 targets for 41%. And on the year, Byron Murphy's at 58%, Patrick Peterson's at 57%. So, I mean, there's a guy who might be able to plug and play. And we officially signed Prince Amukamara to the practice squad. So there's definitely some competition brewing for possibly Drake or Patrick's spot. I don't think he's been awful this year, but he seems to be a step slow, whether it's due to the injury or not.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think that our defense turned on something in that second half that we have not seen all year. And I was very happy with what I saw, but the question lingered in my mind, where the fuck was that all year?
That was some, if you rewatch some of those plays, Vance Joseph with some of those play designs, standing everyone up, rushing, certain like 4 guys at a time, but coming out of all different directions. That at the end was what fooled Russ Wilson in that fourth quarter when Vallejo was able to hit him. And then I forget who was coming free on that INT to Isaiah Simmons. But yeah, Vance Joseph turned up the heat a little bit, and it paid off. And it looks like, this defense it's still kind of hurting with injuries. Down goes Zach Allen. Chandler Jones is still out. But hey, we're coming back, and they're making plays, and they're keeping this team in it. And that's what we need to do with this offense. As long as you have an average defense, this offense is going to win a lot of games.
Oh, absolutely. And I've got to say, as much as I respect Russell Wilson's game, and as much as I love watching him play, seeing his little robot ass crying on the sideline when he made that through, heaven.
Fucking beautiful. About time, man. When was the last time we've beaten them at home? Was that Russell Wilson's first game of his career?
Dude, I don't even know.
I think so. I was at that game. Yeah, that was
2012.
Yep. Oh, yep. It was rookie year.
Here's an insane stat that happened in this game. So the 3 interceptions on the day that Russell Wilson had is more than he's had combined in every single appearance he's had at University of Phoenix and State Farm Stadium.
You're telling me You're telling me hasn't thrown 3 INTs his whole career at that stadium?
He had one in the 2012 game.
Oh shit, you're right.
One in the Super Bowl. None other than that.
Holy fuck!
So we did.
We did.
I mean, and those were with arguably better defenses than we have now. I mean,
arguably, yeah.
I'm not quite certain our defense is legit because I think there are some holes in our defense that have to be addressed. But I think it's fair to say that, I mean, if we can do this to Russell Wilson, then we've got the schedule on lock.
Yeah, I mean, you want to take it one game at it. We're in like a Cardinals group chat, and a lot of people are trying to, people are talking about hopefully we can get a bye in the playoffs, and say, yeah, of course, but let's take it one game at a time. We got Miami on deck, and they're gonna be a sneaky tough team. Their defense is good. I believe they have a top 5 defense in terms of yards, points allowed, and then Tua is going to be inserted. So let's just take it one game at a time. But yeah, it's very hopeful for the future of this organization this year, definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure. But in terms of like quarterbacks who absolutely positively terrify me, it's just it's not even comparable.
He's so damn sneaky in everything he does. The way he was rushing the ball too. He's not super fast, but he could fucking slice you up on the ground if he needs to. And he did that a lot of the night against us on Monday. Or Sunday, excuse me.
I mean, looking at this schedule, I mean, I think the only quarterback that even remotely scares me that's left on this schedule, I feel like I'm joking even saying this, but Josh Allen is the only quarterback left on the schedule that scares me.
I mean, he's a tough dual threat. If you we got to be able to contain him, and I mean that'll be coming up in a couple of weeks. But you can't let him go on with his feet. That's for sure.
Yeah, and some person just watching the cast might say, "Well, what about Jimmy G? What about my boy Jared Goff? Well, they're trash, hon. They're awful."
Yeah, we're not worried about Jimmy G over here. Let's just say that. But I mean, we are going to see Russ one more time here in 3 weeks. So that's going to be another tough bout. But hey, the way this defense is playing, we have the trade deadline coming up. Try to add some reinforcements, hopefully, possibly. I mean, we added Marcus Golden. Did we talk about that since?
We haven't.
Because that was like the day after of our last podcast, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That we aired. So yeah, I mean, he's going to be a nice addition, I think.
The impression I get is that he's a low-risk move, we gave up very little to get him. I don't know if he's going to have. I don't know if he's going to have the same kind of thunder he had when he was with us previously. I don't know if his lack of success in New York is due more to like a poor coaching scheme or just general inability. I'm not quite certain. So I think this could go either way, really.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. He hasn't been playing very much there. He had 10 sacks, I believe, last season, and he's kind of playing every now and again. I think he's playing less than 50% of the snaps over there. So I mean, they obviously had some sort of falling out, but I don't think he needs to be, guy he was here in his great second season back in the day. I think we have a lot with Hassan Reddick. He's up to 6 sacks now, 5-6 sacks. We have some options. Guys are getting pressure. It's not the Chandler Jones show anymore, but I think he's going to be a solid asset. And then who knows? We might be able to still add somebody by Tuesday the trade deadline. There's a lot of options out there, a lot of rumors. People are wanting to say J.J. Watt, Ryan Kerrigan, who's probably my number one go-to guy on the trade market for us. He can get to the passer, and he's a free agent at the end of the year. But I'm looking forward to seeing how this defense develops with Marcus Golden back there for sure.
I want to ask you a question about the trade deadline. I'm going to give you a little prompt. Give me one person on offense and one person on defense that you would like us to trade for.
Offense is a tricky one Because I look around and it's like I could want a tight end, but then it's like Max Williams is supposed to be back, and he's graded out as one of the best blockers and out of all from all the tight ends in the league. So I don't know if I'd even go that route because I know what David Njoku is available at the right price, and he could be a red zone.
David Njoku's available. Supposedly, I want to say not Jason Ertz. I don't think is that right. Jason Ertz,
Zach Ertz, but he's hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Yeah,
that's the name I've seen thrown around to us. I don't know if we really need to go for a catching tight end because they're never actually using their schemes.
Right.
That's typically the go-to I see with outsiders saying this team is good, but why don't they add a tight end? We don't ever use tight end.
And Cliff never really did in college either, so it's like you're trying to force a round peg into a square hole. But I mean, we do have to use tight ends more now in the pass blocking, and that Darrell Daniels had a pretty rough game. Let's just put it that way against Seattle.
Yeah.
But a wide receiver, because then we move to wide receiver. It's like, okay, do we want to add a wide receiver? We could probably upgrade from Isabella. I'm not saying trade Isabella or anything like that, but he could move down a peg on the receiving list.
Here's what I see Isabella's role as. I don't know if Cliff is ever going to do this. I don't know if he's ever. We're desperately trying. Like in previous weeks, we desperately tried to get offenses going through screens, and I don't know why we're not trying to screen it more to Isabella. Because that just
that's the one guy we want to. Yeah.
Because that just seems like the natural fit over having a screen over to Fitzgerald. That's just, I mean,
a little blocking, bounce him out. Yeah.
I think screens and slants seems like the gimme kind of thing to Isabella, because I mean, as much as he's gotten into space on certain plays, he's not going to get into space every single play. So I think screens and slants is what you should kind of delegate him to. I wouldn't go wide receiver at the trade deadline. I don't think that we're in desperate need of a third guy,
especially with the Christian Kirk coming up on the way. He has 5 TDs already this year after coming back off injury. We were talking about it weeks ago, saying that Christian Kirk still have a breakout year even with his injuries, and he got 18 catches this year, which isn't a lot, but 5 TDs, which is already broke his career high. The most he ever had was 3. He's only had 6 in his career before this season. So I mean, he's one away from doubling his fucking output from his career in this season alone, and we're only halfway through. So yeah, I don't really see wide receiver either. And so then we look at do we want to trade for a running back? I know that Jess Root on Cardswire put something out saying we should trade for. I don't even know what bum fucking running back he said, but he got a lot of heat. Maybe yes. Bo Bobbles is saying Eno season. Yeah, I mean, I don't see us going after a running back either. Let's give it to Chase Eno. Wait it out till Kane gets back, and so then we look at the offensive line. I think our offensive line has been pretty fucking good. So I don't really see a spot where we trade for anyone on offense unless it may be depth help, like somebody who's fallen out of favor somewhere and isn't a starter, and they're willing to give up, a 7th round pick fucking next season for him or something. Just in case, but yeah.
Can I give mine?
Of course.
I'm gonna divulge a little bit from the initial prompt. I'm gonna give 2 suggestions on offense. For offense, I think that John Ross from Cincinnati. I know he's on the market. I know he's available. I would not give up much to get him, but since we're clearly trying to become a more speedy team, and we're trying to become the kind of team that does screens on every couple of downs. I mean, I think that he would be really ideal for that kind of system.
You just said you don't want us to trade for one.
I thought about it a little.
The issue with him is he just cannot stay on the field. This is his 4th year, and he's only played 27 games. I just don't know if his body's meant to be in the NFL. He definitely wants out.
And that is, that's definitely the reason why I'm saying, you trade late pick for him. I don't think either. Cincinnati hasn't found out what they want to do with him, or he hasn't quite balled out enough. So
Yeah.
I'd say if you can trade like a 4th or 5th rounder for,
later.
well, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
trying to be a little generous here. If you try to trade a 4th or 5th rounder for John Ross, I'd say you can do that. The second suggestion I had in mind for offense is a little more out there, but looking at like just the situation this back is in, I think that would be ideal for us. You're gonna give me some heat for this one. How would you like Philip Lindsay on our team? He is on the last.
He's a good. He's a decent back. Didn't he get hurt last week?
Did he?
I thought he left their game. I was watching. I was kind of drunk though. I'm pretty sure he left their game hurt. But I mean, I just don't know. I'd rather use our assets for the defensive side of the ball as of right now. I don't know why this isn't getting talked about more, but as of right now, the Arizona fucking Cardinals lead the NFL in total yards on offense.
Oh, I believe it.
Right? So, I mean, we're getting a bye week this week, obviously. I think Seattle's barely a couple yards per game higher than us. But so that was something I was kind of surprised to see. I mean, then again, we have played the Jets, Dallas, and Seahawks defenses 3 weeks in a row, so we should be stacking some of those yards and points up.
Can I go a little more in depth as to why I want Lindsay?
Yeah,
I think that the price we'd have to pay him is so minimal that it barely even scratches a dent into our cap space. Because as it stands, we'd be paying him, I think it was like $350,000, just nothing, for a guy who has twice in a row had 1,000-yard seasons, who has been delegated to a backup because they signed Melvin Gordon. And looking at the state of that team, I can't see them saying that they're going to re-sign Lindsay when they've got Gordon on a multi-year deal. I mean, they've kind of delegated Lindsay to the side.
Yeah, which is a shame because he is a pretty good back. He's questionable for this week coming up. I just don't know because then you're gonna have a 300 attack with Kenyon, Chase, and Phillip, so he's gonna be designated to the backup too. He's not. I don't think he's. I mean, is he better than Chase? I don't know.
Better than Chase?
I don't know if I'd go that far.
I think he's a better. I think he's a better every down back than Chase. I don't know if he's a better back overall.
Yeah.
But I think he's certainly a more reliable back than Chase Edmonds, because Chase Edmonds will break it out every now and then, but I can't see him being, your every down back.
20 rushes a game or whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna say, other than maybe depth on the O line, and just in case someone gets hurt, which I don't really see us going to offense at all, but defense is an area I'm looking forward to. Do you have any names on defense that you like?
On defense, I think I would definitely want to try. I know the Pats have said that they're not doing this, but I mean, come on. Every single team at the trade deadline says they're not trading the guy who they're going to trade. Stephon fucking Gilmore is.
Hell yeah.
Because as it stands, the Pats look like a mess. And, every year somebody says that, they have to be like, well, touchdown Tom is going to bring them back. And it's like, they don't have that anymore. They don't have that to fall back on. Which is
Yeah, it just depends on his market price, because he's going to be a very sought after guy if he really is available. I mean, what is he coming up? Defensive Player of the Year. This year he's only given up 53% of completions thrown his way, but they're just not thrown at him very much, which makes sense. Why the fuck would you throw to him on a defense that has been kind of depleted? So I mean, that's my number one wish list guy would be him, because if you had him, Patrick Peterson, Byron Murphy, and Buddha into that secondary, that's one hell of a fucking secondary.
And trading for Gilmore proves that you are in win now mode, which I think would show absolute balls.
Because that's something like the Seahawks would do. You know what I mean? Like I feel like every year it's like they're trading, or the Rams, they're trying to go for it mid-season, or they're ready to make that splash. And other than that D-Hop, that trade, we haven't really made any splashes like how they're willing to tell the world they're going for it. And this would be a great time for us to do the same thing. He would cost a lot. I'd probably imagine he's got a couple years left on his deal, or 1 year left.
I would be willing to. You're gonna laugh at me for this. I would be willing to trade a first and a third for Stephon Gilmore. People are saying this is a cornerback heavy draft, but given where we're likely to be drafting, like either mid to late first round. I don't know, man. I'm not convinced that we're gonna find that guy where we need to find him. Especially
getting older too.
I mean, especially given the blunders we've had in drafts previous. I mean, I think the best move we can make this trade deadline is to trade for Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the guy of your future. He's just as old as Patrick Peterson, so it's more than likely he would take Pat P's place next year. Pat P would just walk, I guess. I don't know if you could keep both because you're not going to sign Peterson through age 35. You let someone else do that. So it's kind of like it would be a try to win now move, and then it would also reassure that we have a quarterback one once Patrick Peterson moves on potentially next year. And I don't. It's gonna be that's a lot to give up for a 1 and a 3.
But think. Remember who our GM is, and remember the blunders he's had in every single draft that we've been in lately.
He's been really good fucking trading though. So I mean,
oh yeah,
if he can pull off another trade like that, I'm all for it. Yeah, he's one. What do you have? The Xavier Howard's another one from the Dolphins. Who's available?
Xavier would be nice, but A, I don't see the Dolphins trading to us the week before they play us, and B, I don't think he's anywhere near as sexy as Gilmore.
He's not, but he's a lot younger. That's somebody that will be around here for a couple of years. Because Gilmore would just be basically this year and next year, and I mean, you're not signing them 32 through age 35 for a very big deal. I mean, I guess he could.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's the name right there. What do you? I know a lot of fans are trying to hype JJ Watt, and don't get me wrong. I think Gilmore probably is my number one wish list guy. But I don't know if I'd give up a 1. I mean, at the end of the day, if you win a fucking Super Bowl, then I don't care. We could give up fucking all the ones because we've never won a Super Bowl. Give us a Super Bowl and fuck it. Mortgage the future for a Super Bowl. Hey, we still have Kyler Murray. Fucking. So I can see both sides of the argument. Is there? What do you think about JJ Watt though?
I mean, our pass rush this year has been good enough that I don't think we need him.
And his injury history, man.
That's
super expensive. It's not somebody. He's a couple down on my list.
Yeah.
Our luck, we trade for him, and then he get fucking hurt a couple weeks into it and be out for the year. And I know you can't can't be a GM looking at it kind of with regrets or whatever, but that you do have to look at the injury history and put it into play. And someone who would be cheaper and on the last year of a deal, Ryan Kerrigan, outside rusher. He's not getting any playing time in Washington, but he has 4 sacks. He's averaging 22 snaps a game in Washington. He's got 4 sacks this year, 2 sacks, one of each of the last 2 games. And he's only played a total of 20 snaps over those 2 games. I think that's someone where you could line up him, Reddick, and Golden. You could fluctuate those 3 in and out. I think that would help our pass rush. And if something happens to Golden or Reddick, we're kind of fucked after the trade deadline if we don't trade for anyone. I don't see Golden coming in here and playing 90% of the snaps. And I wouldn't see Kerrigan doing that either. But if they could split them 50-50 and you could give up maybe a future 4th for him, I wouldn't be against that at all.
Can we let's go back a little towards the Seattle game?
Yeah.
Let's discuss Cliff Kingsbury's decision making because I think it was a little haywire
stressful
in the game. Stressful, definitely.
My God, at one point I was like, "Hurry the fuck up! What the fuck are you guys?" Because we were just like going through the motions, down 10, in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, and I'm just like, "Holy shit, let's go!" And that's not even like the biggest blunder. The biggest blunder was trying to kick a field goal on second down, having to call a timeout, not running another play, going out there to kick the fucking field goal.
Which
like,
I still don't get that.
That's a choke job right there. Yeah, you're just like, fuck it. I don't,
and
I was playing scared.
To not only do that, and also to not run a couple plays up the middle and set up the ball, but to cap that all off, you iced your own fucking kicker. Are you fucking stupid?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're almost better just taking the delay of game penalty and then rushing the ball to center it in the middle of the field. And you hear Kyler's comments afterwards telling him to never be conservative again.
Yeah, I heard that.
And Cliff kind of sounded like he wore it after the game. He was taking a lot of the blame, rightfully so. But hopefully, I mean, he's still learning. You can see he's learning as he's going. The NFL game is different than the college game. It's only his 20, not even 25th NFL game. So I mean, sometimes he tries to outthink himself, and I think that's kind of what he was doing there.
Yeah, I mean, to have a game on that big of a stage and just to make those kind of mistakes, it was really painful.
Yeah. We end up winning.
The mini drive we had, like after the Buddha pick, was really frustrating. Like we get the ball at like their 4. We do 3 runs, 3 separate runs.
Try to get all cute,
and we get all cute, and we don't get anywhere. So what's Cliff Kingsbury do? Oh, I'm gonna run it again. Maybe it'll work this time. On 4th down, didn't work.
And I don't hate it. We were 4 for 4 going into that 4th down on the year. So I mean, I don't hate it. The execution was awful, and I mean, I get it because you're pinning Seattle back deep as well, right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 3rd down was Kyler Murray run, right? The 4th down, we tried throwing it, right, and he had to throw it out of the back of the end zone or something. Yeah, that wasn't ideal. You'd like to get points right there. But thankfully it didn't come back and bite us in the ass.
And in any other game, if we were to miss the overtime field goal, well, no, we already missed one. If we were to miss the second overtime field goal or miss the game tying one, that would have been the thing that we would have talked about for this week. Why would you?
Oh my God! Yeah.
Why would you do that in that situation?
Yeah, thankfully he didn't come back and bite us in the ass, and I mean he definitely had a lot of questions to answer after the game. And to his credit, he stood there and he answered them, and hopefully he can learn from it, because that overtime was a little worrisome in the end of the 4th quarter, the way he was kind of managing the clock and everything. And hey, I mean, it worked out. So who the hell am I to fucking bitch?
And this game was stressful enough that both of the times that Zane Gonzalez was up to kick, well, all 3 times that Zane Gonzalez was up to kick the game winner, I closed my eyes. I couldn't watch.
Thankfully, I was so damn drunk I can't even I don't even know what I was looking at. That was just that one though. That was such a good fucking feeling after that. All went through the upright the final time.
I was euphoric. Oh my God.
Right. That was just so hyped that we were all just screaming fucking loud as fuck. Like 10:30 at night, however late it was, 10 o'clock. That was a long game. But yeah, it does kind of suck that there's a bye this week. You kind of want to just play it out, go through, keep the momentum going. But at the same time, it's nice that hopefully we can get some guys healthy again. So we'll see how it goes. But it's hard to complain about the first half of the season so far.
And
Too much.
before we get into our weekly pick'em, let's talk about one last thing real quick, and that is 1,400 receptions in his career for one Lawrence Fitzgerald.
Lawrence. And he had one of the biggest plays of the game in that overtime. Was it the overtime or the end of the fourth quarter?
So many clutch. I mean, there have been so many times where he's been clutching, giving the ball to the ref, and just hurrying.
Yeah, what was that? End of the fourth. Thank you, Bo Bobbles. Yeah, I mean, that's just a Hall of Famer mindset right there, dude. Like, you don't see anyone else in the league doing that. Get up, rush into the fucking center, give it to him. I mean, that's 2 times this year and wins. The first one against San Francisco. He's done that with 2 seconds left on the clock. I mean, 2 seconds is not a lot of time. And he had to rush up fucking both times and get it to the center. Like, that is... He's earning his money. I don't care if he finishes with 60 fucking catches. If we make the playoffs by a game or 2, we can look back at that and say he earned his fucking money.
Oh my!
Hey,
he's just so good. He is so awesome. I love him. He is so good. All right,
and the offense wasn't really doing anything. You know, that first. I mean, the offense was okay, but that first. Basically 2 quarters, weren't really moving the ball consistently, and then third quarter comes around, we're finally throwing to Fitz, getting Fitz involved, and we start moving the ball downfield. And how about something we didn't talk about? How about that Kyler Murray, a smile to DeAndre Hopkins, no laces, fucking deep pass to the pylon. God. How beautiful is that?
I was laughing out loud when I saw that, man. It was so good.
Did you see the replay of that play? Nobody's even looking at the snap.
Yeah,
they say the ball snapped on purpose.
They say they stole that from Ohio State, which
Oh, that's right. And he dropped the pass. Cliff was saying, "Yeah, that was beautiful. That was Kyler. What can you say about Kyler Murray, man? He heading into this week. I mean, it changed with Todd Gurley getting a touchdown, but heading into this week, he was tied." All people in the NFL for rushing touchdowns with 7. There hasn't been a quarterback with 7 rushing touchdowns through week 7 since 2006 is the stat I saw.
All right, so I'm gonna go through a few more little milestones, and then we're gonna go into the predictions.
Let's do it.
All right, so first 2 relate to fantasy. Tyler Lockett had the most points ever scored by a wide receiver in a game of fantasy football against us with 53 points.
I believe it. He was fucking everywhere.
Kyler Murray, right now, as it stands, is the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football.
Oh, yeah. I got him in as many leagues as I could.
Kyler Murray won Offensive Player of the Week. And
for the 2nd time this year.
And Budda Baker was named the NFL Defensive Player of the Month.
Yes, sir.
And all of that leads us to...
How do you complain about that?
And all of that leads us to our predictions for this week. Note that we were recording on a Saturday, so Thursday Night Football has already passed, so let's pretend we're geniuses. The Falcons win. Hooray! Okay, so the first game on the slate tomorrow is going to be a massacre. Packers-Vikings, who do you have?
I mean, how do you pick the Vikings?
Packers. No question about it. Aaron Rodgers is playing with a vengeance this year.
And the Vikings.
Titans, Bengals. This is going to be a great week for my fantasy team because I've got Derrick Henry. Titans win it.
Yeah. I saw a stat where Burrow leads NFL in completions and attempts this year. It's not ideal for a rookie. Neither are the defense is probably shit either on the field too often on offense. So yeah, you got to.
Yeah. Oh, this is a gimme. Chiefs, Jets. This is an awful week so far.
Jesus.
Yeah, Chiefs, no question. Our buddies in England on the British Bird Gang cast. Shout out to them. Shout out to them. They're going to be on. They might be on soon. They were saying on their cast that every single person in their pick'em chose the Chiefs that week. And looking at the slate of game that's on this list, I don't know how
Could you not?
I don't know how that's like the definitive here, because there are a lot of shit games on this list.
Yeah, I mean that's your number one choice if you're in a suicide whatever.
Oh yeah.
What's that called? Suicide league or whatnot, where you pick one team every week, and if you're knocked out, or if you lose that game and you're knocked out from the fucking season.
Yeah, just an
Whatever
absolute,
it's called. But yeah, that's the game you pick this week.
Absolute gimme. Next one on the list, you got Colts Lions. Who do you have?
I like what I'm seeing from the Lions. I'm gonna go Detroit.
I think the Colts have been playing, better than anybody could have expected this year. I think that their defense looks stout. Their O-line looks better than it did in the Andrew Luck era. I mean, I think the answer here has to be the Colts.
No doubt. Oh, what I say no doubt for?
This is probably your game.
This is
probably your game of the week for the early slate. Steelers Ravens. Who do you have?
I'm going Steelers. I'm not buying Ravens as much this year. I don't know. Lamar doesn't seem as good as last year. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to go Steelers.
I think he's looking
rolling on all cylinders.
I think he's definitely looking a little rough this year. So I'm going to go. I'm still going to go Ravens because I think that they are still explosive enough to make it work. But I am a little hesitant to say that. Rams Dolphins. Who do you have?
I want to say Dolphins so bad. Yeah, I'm going to go Dolphins. They're going to upset the Rams in Tua's debut.
Yeah, I'll say that too. I think that if there ever, I think if there ever was a team that would take the Rams by surprise, it'd be the Dolphins. Pats Bills.
And that'd be nice for them to head into our week, and then we could beat them. Well, showmanship right there. They beat the Rams, beat Dolphins. I like that.
Yeah. Next up on the 1 p.m. slate, you got Pats Bills. Who do you have?
Honestly, I think the Pats are gonna. I feel like they're due for a comeback game. You know, it's always when everyone counts them out, like you said. Not yet, they don't have Brady, but I think Cam Newton's due for one of those games. They don't have Edelman now or Harry, so that's gonna be difficult. But fuck, and they don't have Sonny Michel.
I'm sorry, man, but the Pats are too riddled by injuries, and the Bills' defense is good enough this year that I don't think it'll even matter. I think it's a Bills.
Yeah, their offense has been underwhelming last 3 weeks. The closing against Jets, Dolphins, but I think you're right. I'm gonna go Bills. I'll go Bills.
Yeah. Next up on the slate, another potential game of the week. You got Browns Raiders. Who do you have?
I got Raiders. I'm not a believer in the Browns right now. Even they keep stacking up wins, but last one mirrors, and the Raiders when they're on, they're one of their teams when they're on. But I think it'd be a good game, and I'm gonna say David Carr's gonna have a good game, so I'm gonna go that way.
Yeah, I think that the momentum the Raiders have right now is really solid, and I think that if there ever is a dark horse candidate to make the playoffs, it's a dark horse candidate to win the AFC West. I think it's them.
What is their record?
I think they've only had 2 losses. I feel like they've only had 2 losses. Yeah, they're 3-3. Shit. Okay, I don't know if I still believe that. Never mind. Browns win.
They beat the Chiefs, though. Yeah. So you never know. You never know with that team.
Yeah. After that, we head into the 4 o'clock slate. You got Chargers Broncos. Who do you have?
Gotta go Chargers. Herbert's still looking good. Broncos look like a fucking shit show.
I am pleasantly surprised with Justin Herbert's development, and I think that they look really good right now. I don't think that's going to get them anywhere in this stacked division, but I think that the Chargers have optimism for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, yeah. I always thought I was wondering why they never drafted a QB these last couple of years,
Yeah,
hanging on with Philip Rivers, and they were always a pretty solid team. But yeah, you definitely you have to like what you see if you're a Charger
yeah.
fan.
Although you can absolutely tell that that CBS is putting all their money in that early slate, because this is just an absolute. I mean, that's the only matchup on CBS, and that's not even like a marquee matchup.
Yeah.
So after that, you got two other bouts on Fox. You got Bears Saints. Who do you have?
Saints. Yeah, I'm going Saints.
I'm not a firm believer that the Saints are even that good. I think that Breeze is still looking rough this year. I think that just
Yeah,
in
Michael Thomas, I think, is out. It's more of a disbelief in the Bears than it is a belief in the Saints, to be honest.
yeah. I mean, five win. To go 5-1 right now. I mean, that's not nothing.
Yeah,
you can certainly discount
yeah,
that.
that defense is good. That defense is
Is
friggin'
monstrous.
yeah.
Absolutely insane.
They got a lot of players back there, with Fuller and Mac, but I'm gonna go Saints. I'm still going Saints.
Your other 4 o'clock matchup, you got the 49ers and the Seahawks. Who do you have?
Ugh, tie. Um, I would like. Obviously, I would like the Niners to win. If the Niners win, then we're in first place.
I don't know, man. I think the Niners look rough enough, and I think that Russell Wilson's going to come into this game with a vendetta. I think he is going to absolutely massacre the 49ers defense.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I think he's going to put on a show.
Yeah, I mean, when has he not this year, other than overtime and the second half of the Cardinal game?
Yeah,
I got a fucking garbage truck driving by. Sorry.
I think given the general state of the Seahawks defense, it's still going to be a shootout, Matt. But I'll be damned if Russell Wilson doesn't put on a show of his life.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would lean, if I'm putting money on it. I'd lean on the Seahawks, but we're not putting money on it, and I want the Niners to win, so we're in first place. So that's the route I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna say Seahawks. All right. Sunday Night Football. Nobody's waiting all day for this one. This is a garbage matchup that should have been flexed. Eagles Cowboys. What the fuck were they thinking? Sunday Night Football. Who do you have?
East Coast bias. I mean, how do you even go fucking Cowboys here? They're on their third quarterback. Look like they've given up. I gotta go Eagles and Carson Wentz.
Yeah,
and I picked Carson Wentz to start since Kyler's on a bye. So
I know you say tie is a joke, but if there ever was a game to tie, it'd be this one. 3-3 tie. Calling it now. Nobody wins.
If the Eagles put up 3 on that defense, they should be shot dead.
Honest to God question here. How is Ravens Steelers not flexed over this game? How the fuck is that not flexed?
Yeah, there are a couple options. I don't know if they're contracted to start doing flex like starting week 10 or something.
But I mean, they flexed our game. They did it for us
because they have the tested positive for coronavirus.
Oh yeah.
So they weren't necessarily sure. But yeah, I mean, if they were able to do flex and it's not in the contract, then they're failing.
Garbage decision by the network.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'm drunk and passed out by then.
I know the Cowboys every single year has like the biggest rated game in the regular season. Come the fuck on! Nobody is lining up to watch this game. Not even Cowboys fans.
That's true.
All right, Monday Night Football, the Monday Night Massacre, Buccaneers Giants. Who do you have?
Jesus Christ! Gotta go Bucs. They look fucking good right now. That's That's a dangerous team right there. And they're finally getting Gronk going. A couple TDs last 2 weeks. And they still haven't really hit their stride with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, but but they're winning, and the Giants are a fucking absolute shit show.
Yeah,
So how do you not go there?
The Buccaneers found the fucking, fucking shit.
They can run. They can run the ball though. They're one of the better running teams with
They found the
Jones.
fucking solution to reverse aging because Tom Brady is just on a fucking roll right now. Gronkowski's playing better than he has in like 5 years. It is crazy what they're doing with that team. I am really frustrated that they're doing good because I really wanted them.
Especially after that week one. That week one, they looked so bad, and everyone was like,
out of it.
"Oh, yeah." But
and
yeah, I mean, what a shitty Sunday night and Monday night game. Holy shit!
But I mean, Arian's system. This has been well documented. This has been talked about enough. It is not very good to those first year quarterbacks that are going into that system and trying it for the first year.
Yeah.
Every single quarterback that goes into that for their first year struggles right away. And
I wonder if he's kind of like taking the reins down a little bit and giving Tom more leeway to do what he wants.
When you have Tom Brady as your quarterback, you are not the offensive coordinator. Tom is.
Right. It's not. I love Carson Palmer, but Tom Brady's no Carson Palmer. You know what I mean? Like Carson Palmer needed Arian's system. Tom Brady doesn't need Arian's system, but Arian's system also needs Tom, so they're able to work and gel together. And they know they're going to win it. You know, they don't have 5 years here to do this. Yeah. So they need to get it right this year, and hopefully. I mean, I'm not rooting for them to get a Super Bowl. Still salty seeing Arians on the sideline over there, but it makes you wonder if maybe he is making it less complicated and giving more room for Tom to make more decisions on his own.
Yeah, which leads us in to what you have all been waiting for. The team we are facing this week is undefeated, yet winless. They have never lost. They have never won. The dreaded bye. Who do you have?
Oh, man. How can you bet against the bye? I mean, that's. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals getting healthy for 500, Alec.
I don't know, man. That bye team, they're scary to me. I mean, they've never lost, not one game.
It's nice to not be like stressed out about a game where you can just relax for the weekend, you know, and then get back to it next week.
Especially
all these, we're just rooting for other teams now to lose and shit. I'm not even rooting for teams to win.
Especially after that absolute cardiac game. Oh my god. I am so ready to just chill out and play some video games this weekend, man. Holy shit!
Right, our blood pressure is still trying to work its way down low. So yeah, this is a nice little break in the weather for us. So hopefully we can come back out. Are we gonna do one next week, a podcast?
That's the idea. We might. I'm gonna
just like a quick one, maybe focus on Miami.
We might have a special guest. Don't quote me on that. But he's somebody y'all have never seen on the cast before. He's kind of high profile, but we're not quite sure if it's happening. So we'll.
I don't even know what you're talking about, so I'm excited.
But yeah, so shit. God damn it. Dennis Gardeck just told me he's not appearing on the cast. Never mind, I'm kidding. Oh shit. I had a weird dream like a week ago. I had a dream that I was getting out of prison for some reason, some fucking crime. And Dennis Gardeck in full Cardinals uniform was the only one outside to greet me.
Oh my god, that's too good.
That's
fucking. I got to follow up, but that's good.
A 250-pound lineman just standing there waiting for me when I get out of prison.
We should definitely try to get fuck. I know we probably won't be able to get no fucking Cardinals, but start hitting up some fucking practice squad guys. Yo, what's up, man? Want to come
I don't know,
on?
man. I think that would get them in some bad graces. I don't think we should do that.
Yeah, maybe.
But I think that about wraps things up.
That was good.
We're gonna close out here. My name is Will. You can find me on Twitter at LiveOnThatSwing.
My name is Mac. You can find me on Twitter at AZSportsFiend. Come for the drunk tweets. Stay for the shit
Drunk
show.
tweets.
Oh, that's what we're here for.
Come for the drunk tweets. Stay for the drunk tweets.
There you go.
But yeah, so that about wraps things up. This has been the Redbird Redzone podcast, and we are out.
Peace.